Welcome once again to another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews online. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. Hopefully you do find them informative, and if you love books, you will love the book that I'm about to review, which I'm sure you will. It's very, very highly recommended. The book is The Hard Parts, a memoir of courage and triumph by OKSANA Masters. This is published by Scribner, and it retails for $37.99. This is an amazing tale of the endurance of the human spirit. If you're looking for a book that will make you feel good and show you how people, keep fighting no matter what the adversity, if you have your little aches and pains and problems, they are so minor compared to what OKSANA Masters went through. She was born in the Ukraine, and it was a few years after the Chernobyl nuclear plant meltdown that she was born. And when she was born, she had a lot of birth defects. She was born with one kidney, 6 toes on each foot. Her left leg was 6 inches shorter than her right leg. She was missing part of her stomach. She had webbed fingers and no bicep on one arm. It was obvious that her mother had been affected with radiation poisoning thanks to the Chernobyl plant meltdown. So her parents, seeing this poor little child with so many things wrong with her, they decided to give her up. They took her to an orphanage and they walked away. And the book really tears at your heartstrings, there's no question, because the orphanage was literally a hellhole. For 7 years, she lived there under very bleak conditions. The children really weren't shown a lot of love. They were basically told that nobody wanted them, so that's why they were there. So it was almost like a punishment. It wasn't a place where they could grow up, and experience love because they didn't have parents who wanted to take care of them. OKSANA made friends with another little girl called Lainey, and they became like sisters, but unfortunately Lainey just suddenly vanished, and you pretty well can figure out what happened to her, and I'm sure it wasn't pleasant. So along comes Gay Masters. She was an American college professor who was looking at pictures of children in the Ukraine. And as soon as she saw OKSANA, she fell in love with her totally, and she knew she wanted to adopt her and make her her daughter. So the process took forever. It took over a year of wrangling back and forth, finally getting to Ukraine and still being deprived of not being able to take care of her right away. So eventually she formally adopted her. She brought her back to America and she raised her. Now, it was not easy for this poor child with so many birth defects. She went through so many surgeries, and it was recommended that both her legs be amputated above the knee. And she didn't want this to happen, but for her own health and safety, and eventually to save her life, she had to have this. So she did have fitted prosthesis. And OKSANA she always loved sports. So she got into Paralympic sports, such as rowing, which was her first love. And she excelled at that. And she had a partner, and she did well. They competed. And then she got into biathlon, skiing, and road racing, and really she lived her dream, considering her capabilities and what happened to her body. She was in pain a lot of the time, as the prosthesis sometimes hurt her, but she still did not give up. She was bullied when she went to school, when she first went to school, because this girl was different, and people didn't cut her a lot of slack, unfortunately, and they did make her feel inferior. Now, she did have a boyfriend, and unfortunately, he was, I could say a few words, but I won't. He was not a nice person. He cheated on her, and he was bossy. And so eventually, thankfully, she found him out and she booted him, kicked him out the door, which was thank goodness. So, but long story short, her and her partners that competed, they started winning medals. She won the silver medal first, then the gold medal. And so truly this book is one of a feel-good book. So if you feel pity for yourself, read this book, The Hard Parts, because it is a tale of courage, triumph, survival, never giving up, always believing in yourself. Like Oksana did have some dark moments where she just wondered whether it was worth continuing. But thanks to Game Masters, who became her, adopted mother, and in all ways she is her mother. Like maybe she didn't give birth to her, but she's done more than any mother ever could for another human being. So please, when you're at the bookstore, seriously consider this book, because it's one that you'll never forget. Let's put it that way. So that's a book I wanted to draw to your attention. Hopefully you will agree with my review. Let me know if you do or you don't. So until we meet again with another great book for review, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.